Hi everyone, my name's Colin Smith and I'm the Development Manager with North Lanarkshire Carers Together. We're the commissioned information and advice service for carers in North Lanarkshire, and we also provide engagement, representation and a campaigning role for carers as part of our wider programme of work. Now, one of the key tasks of our work is my taking on the role of the Carer Network Lead within the Carer Support Network, which is one of the thematic networks within Community Solutions. Now, there are 5 main aims of the network, and they are as follows: to support carer engagement and influence across North Lanarkshire, to liaise with the community and voluntary sector via a number of networks and platforms specifically on carers issues, and to ensure that carers' views and needs are considered as part of their work, to support the implementation of the Carer Scotland Act across the sector, to provide guidance and support to funded organisations to strengthen the support that they provide to carers, and lastly, to work collaboratively and in consultation with carers and professionals to determine support needs, to identify hidden carers and to develop proposals for funding. Now, one of the most recent pieces of work that I've been involved in has covered all of these aims, and it was a North Lanarkshire-wide consultation with carers and organisations to determine what types of supports carers require to enable them to have a regular break from their caring responsibilities. The consultation was prompted by a bit of an ambition from Health and Social Care to support carers regularly and locally, and crucially to help identify carers unknown to services, or those providing care but who do not necessarily wish to identify with a carers organisation. And I'm just going to talk through some of the work that was involved in that. So from April to May, we asked carers via the Carers Forum in North Lanarkshire and via an online survey that went out to carers known to the 2 main carers organisations in North Lanarkshire. And a total of 61 people responded, including the forum and that online consultation. As part of that engagement, we asked carers, where do you live? What age are you and the person that you care for? Would time to yourself for the person you care for or together as a family suit you best? And lastly, what is needed for carers in your area? You can see there from the 4 main questions there, the main kind of localities that the carer lived in was very much spread across the whole of North Lanarkshire, with the exception of Airdrie. There was not very many carers responded to the online consultation from the Airdrie locality. In terms of the age of the carer, there was very few carers completed it who we would describe as being kind of below the age of 45 or younger adults. There was just under a third who were in their mid-40s to mid-50s. Just under a third were in their mid-50s to mid-60s. And then there was quite a jump, and 28% of the respondents were age 65 plus. Now, given that it was an online survey, that was really interesting for me in leading on this piece of research. And in question 3, the person who the carers provide care to, you'll see there that it's a pretty even spread across younger adults who are in receipt of care, but there's 45% who were older adults who were in receipt of care. So it would seem that the vast majority of people who were completing this were of an older age group. Then we asked the question, what type of break would best support you? And 17.5% of respondents said that they were looking for a break for themselves. 15% said that they were looking for a break for the person that they care for. But overwhelmingly, the vast majority of people who responded to the consultation said that they were looking for a combination break. They were looking for something to do together with the person that they care for. From the kind of open questions that we asked around what types of breaks would best suit the carer and the cared for, we made up a wee bit of a word cloud to kind of tease out some of the key phrases that were answered. And you can see there that the word help comes up a lot. And the other words that came up tended to be kind of break themed, like health, services, coffee morning, holiday, and group. Then throughout the month of May, we consulted with partners. We asked the local consortiums, and I know you heard a little bit about them earlier on. They're made up of a multi-agency team who work in local areas. We asked the local consortiums what their local knowledge was, and then we consulted with the Carer Support Network, and we asked the question, based on your local knowledge of what carers and the people they care for tell you, What are the gaps? What type of service will make the biggest difference to families? Now, I tried to get a nice pictorial representation to show how the results between carers and partners differed, but the fact is that they were broadly similar. So I chose this image here, not because we've got a wee bit of a football match on tonight, but just to show you that the answers from both carers and partners were pretty similar. And I'll just go through some of these for you just now. Respondents from both carers and professionals said that there was a lack of services for young adults with additional support needs, that there is a need for a combination of clubs and activities for the carer and the person being cared for, that there's a lack of respite or regular break choices that are weekly and ongoing, there's a lack of childcare services. There's a few statements to say that services and groups need to think outside of the box and acknowledge carer breaks are different for everyone. Think about more consistent, regular, ongoing breaks as opposed to an ad hoc cash grant. Pilot some new initiatives with fresh approaches and fresh proposals. There was a couple of statements to say that we should be linking in with the review of adult social care and its recommendations to build a marketplace of regular opportunities. There was a very common theme around sitter services, and it highlighted that many carers would benefit from a sitter service either within their own home or within a service for their loved ones, allowing both to do something separately but safely. We were asked to consider different times for breaks, many supports available during the day, but this doesn't help all carers and that there's a need for flexibility. There was a number of respondents said to ensure that and remember that we consider BAME communities, young carers and male carers specifically. Carer advocacy was a common theme mentioned in the consultations. And there was wide consensus that the surveys done during the pandemic have shown that digital supports and activities do work, and there has in fact been a net gain in carers accessing that type of support, and that we should take this opportunity to enhance that and develop that, but to ensure that no one is left behind as part of that work. So in terms of next steps from this consultation, we have obviously presented the findings here as part of the Community Solutions celebration. We intend on sharing the findings by way of a report with Health and Social Care. And just a kind of a closing comment or a closing statement, just to assure anyone listening to this presentation that Health and Social Care are committed to supporting carers in North Lanarkshire. Well, thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed that short presentation.